Let's go. What they talking about? They thought we was going to go down to Tampa and just lay down? We wasn't having it. Like I told you, we ain't playing with them Bucks. You thought we weren't going to get our hit back? You thought we weren't going to get our revenge? Yeah, right. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Everything Commanders with your host, Dream Team Buddha. Hail to the Commander. What's good, y'all? This your boy Dream Team Buddha coming back to you with another episode of Everything Commanders. The Commanders handled business last night in Tampa. That's right. That's right. We going to the next round. They ain't even believe in us. They didn't even believe in us. But we did what we had to do. They thought because they beat us week 1 that they had a cakewalk game. Yeah, right. We came in that thing swinging. Throwing punches. We was throwing haymakers. We was going for on every fourth down. We did not come to play around, okay? You think the Commanders fans came down there to play around? Nah. You see what happened. Yeah. The Commanders went down to Tampa Bay last night. They got the victory, 23-20 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was a crazy game. It was a defensive game early on. One of the high scoring game, but it was a good game. Out of all the games that went on in the playoffs, I want to say that our game was one of the better games that was being played. Now, I know we still got another game to play. Well, we don't have another game to play. I know we still got another game going on for the wild card round, which is LA versus the Rams versus the Vikings, and that take place Monday night. But we don't know how that game going to turn out. But thus far, the Commanders and the Buccaneers game was one of the better games. And I'm glad they saved our game for last, Sunday night. When you get Jaden Daniels at night, prime time, that's when he at his best. And I knew it. I said it. I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. I take Jaden Daniels prime time over any other quarterback in the NFL. And I know you got your Patrick Mahomes and your Josh Allen and your Lamar Jackson. I get all that. But I take my guy, JD5, Jaden Daniels, over any quarterback in the NFL. And he's just a rookie. So, yeah, man, last night was incredible. Jaden Daniels had a hell of a game last night. It seems like the moment never gets too big for him. Like, no matter what the moment is, it doesn't get too big for him. The boy's got so much poise. You know, he stands tall in the pocket. He make the right decisions. He's very decisive. Woo! The boy is him. He went 24 for 35. He had 2 tutties last night. He only got sacked 1 time, but he had a QBR of 80.4. That's pretty good. Going up against Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield only had 3 incompletions on the game. So they played a good game. They just didn't have the ball enough. They didn't have the ball enough. So it wasn't much they can do. The margin for error was yeah. So they thought it was sweet. We just showed them that we are a real team and we really do this. I want to start off talking about Marshawn versus Mike Evans. We all wanted to see this matchup, and it was a great matchup. Marshawn kind of disappointed me, man. He kind of disappointed me, not because of, Mike Evans, getting the best up. Well, Mike Evans, catching some balls on him, but because of he expect the refs to help him too much. At this point, I mean, well, I know he's the veteran, and I'm just a fan or whatever. But at this point, you got to say to yourself, they show the wide receivers more love than they show the DBs. Okay? So playing so aggressive is going to, you know what I'm saying, it's going to go in the favor of the wide receiver. Although I think a lot of those calls was BS. Mike Evans push off every time. I feel like all the aggressive receivers push off, and they be real physical, but they don't allow the defensive backs to be physical with them. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's a fair. They don't get a fair chance to actually play some good defense. I feel like they should let them boys play. If it's a physical wide receiver, let them peoples play. And that goes for Commanders, any team. Like if it's a physical wide receiver and the refs know that, let them people play. It's no point in, you know what I'm saying, calling the game all soft, because it can actually ruin the game. And in this instance, Mike Evans gave the Bucs the spark that they needed. Gave them the spark they needed, because we pretty much had them early on. Baker Mayfield ain't know what to do for real. I mean, they marched down the field their first drive, but they only got 3 points. Defense stood up. Defense held their own. And I know it seemed like they was throwing the ball all over us, this, that, and the fourth. But honestly, Baker Mayfield only had 185 passing yards. Yeah, he went 15 for 18. He had 2 TDs. But, yeah, like, come on, bro. Like, we still did our thing. Defense did their thing. They held Bucky Irvin quiet for the whole first half. Then when the second half came, he broke a run up the sideline. I think it was for like 19 yards, the longest run of the game. And he had 77 yards on the game. But just before the half, when they got into their hurry-up offense, that's when Mike Evans brought them boys back and brought them alive and, you know, made them boys look alive, because at first it wasn't looking too good for them. It was 10-3, and we just scored, left a minute and some change on the clock, which I was kind of like I wish we didn't, but, you know, we had to do. We scored, so it is what it is. And we were just going into the half, and the Buccaneers had the ball, and they was driving down the field because Mike Evans caught a big pass on Marshawn Lattimore, and then he caught another pass. And, you know, the crowd got all hyped, you know. So it gave them the momentum, and it was like, oh, here we go again. They drove all the way down the field, and it was a deep pass down the sideline, and Mike Evans put a swim move on Marshawn Lattimore, and they didn't even call it, but soon as the ball got closer, and Marshawn Lattimore looking at the ball, Mike Evans looking at the ball, but he had his hands around his waist. I will say that. And they called him for pass interference, put the ball at the 1 yard line, and before you know it, the next play, the ball was going right back to Mike Evans, because they had Marshawn Lattimore in his feelings, and that's what I was upset about. Like, bro, like, you could be aggressive and all, but play smart, bro. Play smart, bro. And then that touchdown that Mike Evans had, it wasn't even on Marshawn Lattimore 100%. And Marshawn was you know, he defending the outside because he had help in the inside. And Mike Evans went to the inside, and Quan Martin couldn't see the ball, but Baker Mayfield put the ball in the perfect spot, because Quan Martin put his hands up to defend the ball, but it went right through his hands. It went right through his arms. So it was like, man, it was unbelievable, but he caught it. Touchdown, 10-10. We got the ball back. It was like 3 seconds left. We down the ball, went into the half. After that, Marshawn caught like 2 more passes. That's it. I mean, not Marshawn. Mike Evans caught like 2 more passes. That's it. Like, he didn't really do too much. He had 7 catches for 92 yards and a TD. But he caught every pass that went to him. He caught it. So, yeah. De'Ami Brown stepped up big time, y'all. De'Ami Brown stepped up big time. Okay? Okay? Like, I don't know where this De'Ami Brown been. Or was they holding him back? But I don't even care. He's showing us at the right time who he is. Now, if he could finish these playoffs, you know, have another big game against the Detroit Lions, and you know, if we advance, then whoever we play, if he have a good game to finish out the playoffs, I wouldn't be mad if we gave him a 1 or 2 year deal. He could get a 1 year prove a deal because he ain't really done too much with us. This is last year in his contract, but I see something in him. I saw something in him when we first got him, but I knew he was a raw talent, and I knew he only had like a deep ball. Like he was only considered a deep threat. So with his route running and stuff like that underneath, it wasn't the best. It wasn't as polished, but he been brewing on the bench for the last 3 years. In his 4th year, he finally got a quarterback that can, get him the ball, and the offensive coordinator that'll get him the ball. And he's getting he's getting much more play time because Noah Brown still on IR. He had a lacerated kidney, so now De'Ami Brown getting a lot of play time. But De'Ami Brown had a great game. His first touchdown was our first touchdown, wide open in the back of the end zone, touchdown. Yeah, so he pretty much played his tail off. Him and Scary Terry. They went to Terry. Jaden went to Terry. He went to Terry McLaurin a lot throughout the game, and I love to see it because Terry McLaurin wasn't getting targeted early on in the season, and I felt like I didn't know if they was gonna hit us with the same. Well, we gonna take what the defense give us, and if they double Terry, then we're going to throw here and whatever the case may be. It's the playoffs. Get your playmakers the ball. And tonight, they did that. Shout out to my boy Austin Eckler, man. Shout out to Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler played his tail off. Yeah, he ain't had the most flashy stats. He still only had 27 yards on the ground. He was only averaging 3.4 yards to carry. So it was, he didn't do much there, but he had caught the ball 3 times for 26 yards. And that third catch was the one. And that was later in the fourth quarter when we were trying to march down the field and seal the deal. So that catch that he had right then and there that got us the first down and put us like at the 30, 25, something like that, whatever, in that range, that was one of the biggest moments because they had it read. They read it right. But Jaden Daniels put the ball in the right spot, caught the ball, took it up the sideline, made a few people miss. That's one thing I love about Austin Eckler. Man, he know how to make people miss. And his presence was definitely missed. And you see how valuable he is to this offense. So, he caught that pass, and that kind of like put us in position to actually win the game for real. But other than that, Dan Quinn, I know a lot of people was, including myself, I know a lot of us was looking at Dan Quinn like, come on, bro. How many times you gonna go for it on 4th down? Like, we need some points. We need some points. We can't be in the playoffs trying to be like Dan Campbell in Detroit, who we play this week, by the way. And one thing I can respect about him, and I can respect this about anybody, if you're going to do something, if you're going to be a certain type of way, own it. And you know what he did? 4th down came up, he kept going for it. They weren't playing because they understood. The Buccaneers like to hold the ball and run the clock. They like to beat you that way. And we like to do the same thing. We got similar styles offense. Run the ball, control the clock, get out there with the victory. Playoff football. And Dan Quinn understood the assignment. He understood that field goals weren't just going to win you the game. We needed more than field goals. And he was going for it on fourth downs. Sometimes it was unsuccessful. And then at the right times, it was successful. Like in the fourth quarter when we went for it on fourth down in the red zone, and that was pass interference, where Jaden drops back. He got time in the pocket, and he throws a pass to Zach Ertz. And Levante David, who played himself, he had a great game. I give it to him. The old savvy vet had a great game. He even ran Jaden Daniels down. He had a good angle on him. He didn't really run him down. He had a good angle on him. But yeah, so they was pretty much tackling Ertz in the end zone. We didn't get no flag. Turnover on downs. But I understand why he went for it. And we was down to like the 3 to 4 yard line. Like, okay, well, you play defense. You defend the field for 96 yards. Worst case scenario. Okay? No time wasted. Allow your defense to do their damn job. Show the defense that you respect them and that you're going to rely on them to get the ball back. And sure enough, 2 plays later, the Buccaneers wanted to get cute. They wanted to get cute. And they tried to do this motion where it's a time and play where you hike the ball to Baker, and then Baker hand the ball off to Jalen McMillan, and he go on the end around because he's a little speedy wide receiver. Well, he got some speed, but he's not that speedy, but he got some speed with him, and they wanted to get him out on the edge to get their playmakers the ball any way they possibly could. And somewhere in between that handoff of Baker Mayfield and McMillan, it was a fumble. And guess who was right there? B-Wag! Bobby Wagner was sitting right there to recover the football. The old vet had himself a day. When I say he had himself a day, Slim, he had 8 total tackles. He had a half sack. He had himself a day. We need to bring him back. If he ain't ready to stop playing football, we need to bring him back on a 2-year deal. 2-year deal minimum. 2-year deal minimum. So he could groom Jordan McGee. And he still got a lot left in the tank, man. He was out there stuffing them runs left to right. We need him. We need to bring him back. And shout out to the D-line, man. You see your boy Johnny Newton out there balling? He was out there balling. They held Irvin to 77 yards. And if he not got that big 19-yard run, and look, he wouldn't. They thought he was going to come into the game, he was going to get 90-plus yards, okay? His over-under on every gambling app was 88, I think, coming into the game. And he been balling. I give it to him. He been balling. He took the starting role from Rashad White over there in Tampa. So he been balling. So I definitely noticed that he a good player, and I respect him. I hope we get us another running back to pair with our guys. Speaking of which, B-Rob, I know a lot of people want to get on B-Rob and, talk about how he fell off and he washed up and this, that, and the fourth. And I feel you. I feel you to a certain extent. Like, B-Rob is not the flashiest running back. He's not a Saquon Barkley. He's not a Jahmyr Gibbs, who we play on Saturday. He's not a Bijan Robinson. Hell, he just a power running back. I mean, what else you want from him? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a bruiser. He's just like Najee Harris. And I know that's not a great comparison because Najee Harris ain't no flex. Well, when he came out, Najee Harris was never the speedy back. He's just not that fast. So he's there to get those defenders tired. Okay? He's there to to make them people have to tackle him and get them tired, so when the fourth quarter come, Austin Eckler could come in and tear something up, or B-Rob can actually do what he got to do. Either way, you wearing them boys down. B-Rob only had 10 carries. I know he only had 16 yards, but B-Rob served his purpose. You got to run the ball with him to be on, to keep him honest. Jaden Daniels ran the ball 13 times. He had 36 yards. And I thought Jaden Daniels was going to get more yards than that. But they had two people spying on Jaden Daniels the whole game. The whole game. And I respect Todd Bowles, because Todd Bowles be dialing it up, and he do what he do. We already knew what it was coming into the game. That's how I know this Lions game is going to be kind of crazy, because, woo! I already know Aaron Glenn ready. He licking his chops right now, so we'll see what it's going to be. But overall, man, I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the Commanders, man. They do their thing every week in, week out. And I believe that we are where we are because JD5. The team too, the organization too, but mainly JD5. When you get you one of them ones like JD5, anything's possible. And you can't tell me nowhere in America that knows about Jaden Daniels, who was watching that game last night, felt like with us getting the ball, 4 minutes left, nobody felt like, but the Buccaneers, nobody felt like the Bucs was getting that ball back. We all knew. We all knew. We all knew that when the game is on the line and those bright lights, it's a JD5 show. It's 5 versus himself. We all know that. Todd Bowles know that. Baker Mayfield know that. He was sitting down like, oh my God, like, this get me the ball back. Baker Mayfield the same way. You give him the ball, it's a high chance that he could make a fourth quarter comeback and seal the deal. But Jaden said, no. Y'all not getting this ball back. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching, and I'm like, I know it's 4 down territory, the whole field. But on that 3rd and 1, we was at the 20-some yard line. Tampa Bay just called a timeout. They had 1 timeout left. It was a crucial 3rd down. 3rd and 1. Jaden drops back. It's an RPO. Fake. And Kalijah Cansey is right there on Jaden. Jaden fakes it. He comes back to his left. Cansey is right there running with him. He tried to grab Jaden. Only thing he could grab is this towel. It's like Jaden said, hold that for me. I'll be back to get it. Wipe your face off with it. And he ran and he got the 1st down and he dove so he wouldn't get hit, because he took a big hit early on in the game. By McCullough. And, it was legal, But every now and then Jaden get one of those hits that make him say, all right, I got to chill out. I got to respect these defenders because they ain't playing with me. They out for blood. Jaden Daniels had a big old gash in his eye. They weren't playing with him. Playoff football. So to see him convert that 3rd down and get down before anybody could hit him, like he dove to the ground, I said, oh, it's over. They called the timeout. We hiked the ball, moved the ball to the left-hand side, left hash, because our kicker, he tends to kick the ball to the right. He always pushed the ball to the right. They call him a pusher. And it was brilliant coaching, because when he kicked the ball, we all felt like 3 seconds left. All he got to do is make this field goal. it's a chance he might miss this joint. It's a chance he might miss this jump. And sure enough, he kicks the ball. Ball hit off the field goal post upright, and it goes in. And the rest is history, baby. The Commanders are moving on to the next round to face off against the Detroit Lions. So let's, man, hey, we got to celebrate, man. Commanders, we here. Let them haters talk, because that's all they want to do. They just want to talk. First they said we wasn't going to win more than 6 games. Then when we won more than 6 games, we ain't played nobody. We went on a little losing streak. I told you they was frauds. They ain't about none of that. They ain't as good as they think they is. They ain't playing nobody. Then we started beating good teams with winning records. Oh, but they ain't going to the playoffs. Then we kept on beating good teams with a winning record. Went on a 5-0 win streak to end the season. But they going home the first week of the playoffs. They won and done. On everything I love, they won and done. Yeah, right. You over there tripping out because you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Let me tell you one thing. As long as you got JD5, you're going to always be right. So, yeah, it's up. Victory Monday, baby. Victory Monday. 23-20 Commanders. And we heading to Detroit. So I say this to y'all. Detroit, what up? What up, though? We coming into your town. We finna come into your trap and take over your trap. Now, I know it ain't going to be easy. But I don't believe that we made it this far for no reason, okay? I don't believe it. So, it's up. That's going to do it for me. Y'all do me a favor. We made it to the end of this video. I want you to drop a comment down in the comment section. And I want you to tell me your thoughts on the game. What you think about the game, man. Was it a close one? Was you sitting on the edge of your seat? You know what I'm saying? Was it a cardiac game? You know, we the cardiac Commanders, man. You know, it's never we beat the team early on and we you know put the game away unless it's a sorry team. Like, y'all good after that game? How y'all feeling? Let me know. Y'all think we gonna beat Detroit? Let me know your feelings. Leave it down in the comments. I want to hear from y'all. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to those who sub to the channel. Make sure y'all do me a favor. If you haven't already, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on so that way you can get all the notifications on the up-and-coming videos that I'm going to drop, and you'll have them faster than anybody else. I appreciate y'all. We out. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Let's go, baby.